Hello everyone, welcome to the DWA Q&A. Now, I made a video last week explaining that I've gotten a lot of questions in the past about, how I got started and certain questions about the leagues and certain things here and there, certain questions that people had about it. And I thought I'd make a video about this very topic. So I made a short and it gave the fans questions or a chance to ask questions, and I would answer them on this Q&A. I've never done a video like this before. I've never done a video like this before, but I think it's a good thing for me that someone that I've been doing this for a long time and someone that people look to as someone that, I'm not trying to tout my own accolades, but people keep coming to me asking these questions and wanting to know certain things about CAW, so I thought I'd come on here and address them. We'll get into the fan questions here in a second, but the first question I'm going to answer on this Q&A is a question I get all the time. How did you get started? So basically when I got started, I was in college, and we'll just leave it at that. The college I went to was ITT, and won't say any more than that. You could Google it yourself, so you know how that went. And I was watching stuff like No DQ, Slam and Jam, SMF. Those are the leagues I started watching. Even there's a league I watched, BMW. That if you go to the channel you're on here, the DWA channel, if you go to the oldest video, I was doing a commentary tryout for a league called BMW Bird. I think it was called Bird Media Wrestling. I think that's what it was called. Where I did what was it? Jason and Michael Myers? I think that was the match, I believe. And I did a commentary tryout for. Obviously, I didn't get it, but hey, it's a good thing I didn't, right? So I started doing that, and what? I like to do this myself. So I went to a website that's still around, but it's not as prevalent as it was back in the day, called caws.ws. And what that was back in the day was, you would go on this website and people would upload formulas, basically the parameters, how to make these characters in the games. And when I started with SVR06, and I would look at these formulas and I'd implement into the game. You type in the parameters for like the height, the weight, the hair color, all the things that make up the character. You would put into the game from this website, and it would because you didn't have community creations back then. You couldn't download a character offline on the internet, so you had to do it this way unless you made it yourself. But people would upload these characters and make them look like real. I'll be honest with you. 06 era, in the beginning, the only person I made, I'm not with Al Capone. Everyone else that in DWA in the beginning was a creation from caws.ws. And then as I got more into it, I created the characters myself. In 08, I don't think I went to caws.ws for any. No, actually, I take that back. The Predator is the only character I've never tried to make on my own. And if you watch DWA through its entirety, I tried to make him in 08, and it was atrocious. It was bad. So, but the one I had where I think the one I can remember the most where he looked like Predator was the match he had against Mr. Kennedy at Summer Heat for the Electrifying Championship. That's the Predator that I made through 08 on caws.ws. I made him as best as I could with the formula, and then now I just downloaded it because, again, the Predator is such a complicated character to make. I don't consider myself a great maker with like that, but that's the only character I will not even attempt to try and make is the Predator. So it's like, hey, thank you to all the creators out there that make stuff like that, because if they didn't, Predator would not be a part of DWA. That's all I'm going to say. So yeah, I was on the website caws.ws, and I just looked for people, and I'll get into this in a second. This is actually a question, so I'll bring that up when I answer it. I just looked for people that I thought were people would like to see in a league or popular or whatever, and I just put them in the game, and that was kind of how I got started with it. Back in the day, I went about doing it in a way where I had a DVD recorder, so I would get these blank DVD discs. I'd record it off the game, and I'd have to use a DVD ripper to rip the file because it wasn't a file you could edit on. Rip it and then convert it and put it into Movie Maker, and that's how you saw on DWA back there. There's a lot of steps back in the day, not as easy as it is now, right? Not for these young kids out there. Us old timers in CAW had to go different routes to record our footage. So, but yeah, so that's basically how I got started, and then it went from there. We, eventually use like video capture, like a capture card, and of course now Elgato is the go-to for me. The Elgato HD capture card is what I use now, and it's been, knock on wood, it's been phenomenal for me. So it's been great. So that's basically how I got started. And now we'll jump into the questions I got from the fans. So this first question comes from Freddie Myers 9511. He says, "How have you not added yourself into your CAW roster because you feel fans will consistently mistake you for Kevin Owens?" Well, you know what? First, to answer that question, I have made myself in W2K25. If you watch my Rise career mode, which I'm going to need to upload more of that. I've been lazy on that. I do apologize. A lot of stuff going on with wedding planning and other videos and work and a lot of stuff going on, but I will upload more videos to that channel for My Rise. But yeah, I did create my character for My Rise, so my character is in 2K25. And then mistake you for Kevin Owens. It's funny this person mentions this because when I did Triple Threat Talk with my friends Gary and Jimmy, we would go to OVW once a week. We'd interview a superstar for OVW that was selected for us, and I would just I'd stand there because we got in for free. We're basically like quote unquote media back then, so we just got in and watched the OVW tapings. And I would stand there on the floor, and someone comes, "You know, you look like Kevin Owens." And I heard that, or not Kevin Owens, it would be Kevin Steen before he was in WWE. I heard that all the time. I heard it consistently all the time, and I was like, "Who the hell is that?" And once I looked it up, I'm like, "Oh, that makes sense." I heard it all the time throughout my life. "You look like Kevin Owens. You look like Kevin Owens. You look like Kevin Owens." I've heard it so many times. I don't think I look like Kevin Owens now. Maybe back then when he was younger and a different look because my hair's longer, my beard's different. I don't think I look like Kevin Owens now, but I guess certain points, if you look at Kevin Owens and look at me when I'm younger, I can see the similarities, but I heard it so many times. So this person, UCWL, I think that's another CW league, so good on you, said, "I was going to ask this at the end of your T-Hawk Zangief match, but the video switched out on me too quickly. So I was wondering, once you get DWA back up and running, will you be willing to work with other promotions again, like you did with SCAW in the past?" I'd be up for it. I saw when I did that match. Thank you for your question. I appreciate it. When I did that match with T-Hawk and Zangief, I did it live. I like doing that thing. That's really neat. A neat feature that YouTube has, like a live premiere. People can join in and commentate as the video is going up. Donnie Mick, who does UWO, was commenting and he was watching, which was great. I followed him back in the day. We had a lot of fun back in the day. Me and Donnie going back and forth, UWO and DWA and stuff like that. I'd be up for it. I'm not opposed to it. Definitely, I don't know if SCAW knows we're back. Once we get fully back in the swing of things, I can always reach out to SCAW, see if there's something they'd like to do again. I'd be down for it. I loved my partnership with SCAW. A lot of stuff with Spider-Man and the virus going to SCAW, and a lot of cross-promotion stuff with him. Definitely my favorite creator that I worked with was SCAW. I think we had similar kind of styles when we did our shows, so I'd be down for working with SCAW again, but I'd also be down to work at any other cross-promotion that would like to work with us. I'm all about, promoting other people. That's like my goal. Like I'm describing our league as a legacy league. Like we've been around for so long. We're doing so many hours and hours of videos and so many hours and hours of content. I'm willing to help out the next generation. I'm willing to say, hey, you want to do CW? Great, it's fun. What do you need help with? That's why I'm doing this video. Honestly, I want to help people do this because it's a passion of mine. I love it. It's why I'm doing it again. That's actually another question. I'm going to get to that too. But I like doing this. It's fun. It's a great hobby. It allows me to be creative. It allows me to do something I like, which is do something with professional wrestling. So if anyone has interest in that and wants my help, please, the door is always open. I would gladly help anybody that wants to do this. It's something that I wouldn't trade for the world because I have 3 of the best friends I've ever made in my life because of this. And that's crazy to fathom, but it's the truth. Let's see. This person asked a lot of questions. We'll get back to them in a second. The random goofball, nice name, mentioned this question. Where and when did you get the itch to do CAW again? Because I remember when I was in high school, I watched the DWA, SCAW, SMF, ICCW, another one I like to work with, ICCW. And seeing how we got 3 of them back somewhat is mind-blowing to me. Thank you for your question, random goofball. It's, that time in my life with those CW leagues, DWA, SCW, SMFs, ICCW, just a great core of people, a great core of creators, and we pushed each other to do better. We watched our leagues. We watched everyone's content. We said, what did they do this week on Slapton? What did they do this week on on Superstar Cloud, what we do this week on this and that. We wanted to see what the other shows were doing, and we wanted to like work with them, up our ante, make our shows better. It was a lot of stuff out there at the time, so we wanted to make sure that people had options to watch, and we wanted to make sure that everyone was watching everyone else's shows. We were like, hey, we do all those promotional. This is CAW. Those commercials, like, you know, for Ska did, I did it. Everyone did those things, those like promotional commercials for other leagues to get the word out there. So that was the great part of this hobby, this journey. Was work with other people, other creators. And the question he was asking was, where and when did you get the itch to do CAW again? I'm trying to think when I had the itch to do it again. It's, I've always been into creating characters. And then, funny story, I don't remember. I'm sure someone in the comment section will let me know, when this was. I was still doing DWA at the time, and one of the SmackDown games came out. I think it wasn't like WWE12, so it might have been SmackDown vs. Raw 2010 or 2011. One of those games. It was before once at WWE12, WWE13, and so on and so forth. It was that game where the main story, like the creative player or story mode, was with someone named Jacob Cass, and something happened with a save file and deleted all my characters. We were gonna go back again. We were planning to do Interactive Insurrection. The next one, 2009. I think it was Interactive Insurrection 2009, 2010, whatever it was called. But we were gonna do Interactive Insurrection. That was the next CPV we were gonna do at the time, and everyone got deleted. Everybody was gone because of that, some kind of glitch or save error. I don't know what happened, but everyone was gone. And I was like, well, could I redo it now? It's like I could, but that would take so. We were in the middle of something. We were in the middle of a storyline. We were in the middle of the Doctor's Order, in the middle of the Lance Burton Open, in the middle of stuff like that, and everything just got scrapped because of some kind of error. So I was like, well, I guess this kind of telling me something. And then I believe there's a video, I think might be SVR 11. I'm trying to think it was the last one I started making DWA characters. Because I think I did like entrances in SVR 11 with DWA Superstars, and they had like a battle royal. I've done it before, and that's the last thing I did with DWA before recently. And then he asked the itch to do it again. Well, to me, I played a lot of DWA games in my day, old, new, but I played 2K19 a lot. I still love it to this day. I mean, there's some hoops you have to jump through with these newer games for creative processes, but 2K19 could not have been. It was like the Rolls Royce of creation suites for creators. I mean, the creative wrestler was great. You know, other things to create a video, highlight reel. It was so many good things in 2K19 to do to make it a creative process, and it was such a lot of fun to do. So I made like these characters, just characters I thought of in my head, and then this is relating to the other show that I did, PHW, Powerhouse Wrestling. I made a lot of characters, just like things I wanted to do. I just was sitting in my PlayStation and think of characters to think of names and make a character. And that's where that started from. I just made the characters for fun, just because I like making characters. And then at some point, I don't remember when it was, but I was like, I made all these characters. I want to do something with them. And that's when the process started for me to do CW again with PHW. I did like a couple shows. Like I wanted to do, like it was a very creative process. You can watch them. They're on this channel as well. A lot of creation thing, like doing stuff with like editing and promos and this and that and the other, just to make it a very creative process. And then I stopped after 2 episodes of it. I wanted to do more. It's basically a time consuming thing, and I just didn't have the time. Because there was a lot of stuff doing like editing with videos and music and all these different scenes in the game to make it a cohesive show, to make it feel like, and like I even did things with like, I go on like a sound website and find sounds for like different things to make it more interactive, like crowds chanting certain things or whatever, just to make it a more immersive experience. And then I stopped for a while, like I said, because of time. And then it got to the point where I was like, I kept watching old DWA stuff. And I made that video, the legacy video, and that was like, I thought that was going to be the end of DWA. I was going to make this big video, and I've watched that video so many times, and I just look back on the moments and the memories that I had for this thing that I did for 5 years, and I was like, you know what? I want to do it again. I want to do it again. And getting 2K25 kind of reinvigorated myself for that. Is that a word? Reinvigorated? Yeah, that sounds right. Reinvigorated myself for this. I started creating characters again. I've downloaded people. I have a roster full of people. I'll be honest with you. You're watching this Q&A now. The script, like, this is like breaking news on this Q&A. I don't know when the show is going to premiere. I'm not going to give you a date because I don't want to make promises I can't keep. But the script for show 1 is done. The script, I say it again, the script for DWA-Universe's return is done. When it will be uploaded? No clue. When it will be recorded? No clue. But the script is done. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, I want to do it again and create these characters again. I was on Discord with a friend the other day, or actually I was on Discord this past week a couple times, just making characters. I had my Elgato plugged in, and I was screen capturing my computer, and they're watching me create from scratch, and I love doing that. And then like making these characters something like, again, back when I did them on 2006, I was making them by the book, like this has to be looking like Apocalypse, this has to be looking like Batman, but so on and so forth. But now these characters have been established, I have free range to do what I want. Like, yes, they have to look like them to an extent, but like, look, for example, let me do something as an example. Shaun of the Dead, perfect example, right? When I made Shaun of the Dead in 2008, it looked like Shaun of the Dead from the movie. But once his character was established, I'm like, I'm going to change his character up, and I could do what I wanted. That made it more original for me. So it's like, when I make these characters, like, yes, they look like, not Robin, right? Robin, perfect example also. I made him into Nightwing, which happened in the comics and in the cartoon. And then I made him look like a wrestler. And I've done that with a lot of people. And it gives me the ability to be creative. That's why I love doing this. It just gives me the ability to be creative. And all that, basically, I hope this answers your question, Random Goofball. But that's kind of where the itch comes from. It's just us watching my own content and like, you know what? This is something I still like to do. And I still want to give people an option to watch this again. I don't care if I get 10 views. I don't care if I get 100 views or 1,000. I like doing this. And for people to watch it, and again, it warms my soul to see comments on older videos still to this day from people. And I get comments all the time that I read. It says like, I was an inspiration for people to do this themselves. That is a gift I can never give back. Never. I never thought this thing I was doing would have an impact on anybody. Ever. I did it for fun. It was a hobby. That's all it was. And then all of a sudden, like, I remember uploading my first episode, it kind of blew up a little bit. People were like, this is great. I love it. And it kept going and going and going. And it's just like, how is this happening? Like, I've made so much content on the internet, but doing DWA, all of it, never in my wildest dreams would I have ever thought something that I did made an impact on anybody. Ever. And that is a crazy thing to think about. But yeah, I'm excited to do it again. Man. All right, so the last couple questions are from this fan that reached out to me. He had 4 questions, so we're going to kind of go through these. So it's Cody Cantrell 5216. So thank you for your question. Thank you for your questions, everybody. I'll mention you by name when I end the Q&A. How do you determine your roster? Now, that's a great question because I mentioned before when I did 06 DWA, I kind of did people that were popular. I mean, for example, like Johnny Cage. I like Johnny Cage is still on the roster to this day. But I did like Mario and Luigi and Superman and Scorpion. I'll be honest with you, I didn't like any of those people ahead of me. I mean, look how long they were there for. Right? They weren't there that long. They were on there, and then before you knew it, they were gone. So back then, my roster wasn't exactly my own creation, if that makes sense. Like, it was like what I thought people wanted. And then a light bulb went off in my brain saying, dude, why are you making characters that people like? Why don't you make characters that you like? So it'll feel like this is something that you want us to watch. And that's what happened. So when I started doing 08, obviously there's still characters that were in 08 that I, Captain America. It was a different take on him, but you know what happened with him. But like, look at for a perfect example, The Flash was in 06. I flipped him into the anti-Flash original. I mean, there's an alternate Flash in the comic. He's like wears like a yellow and I think black outfit, but I made him all black. with the skull mask. That's my own creation. I made him in '08. And then like George Costanza. I like Seinfeld. Ahmed Johnson. I loved Ahmed Johnson when I was younger. Who else am I thinking of? Nico Bellic from GTA 4. Spawn. Spawn was '06 too, but I'd like that pick for myself in '06. Al Capone, the first guy I ever made in a DWA game. Or DWA game, I wish. That'd be great. But for a DWA, I made Al Capone. I like Apocalypse too. That's why I kept him around. And then like look at it now. I have characters like Zangief I brought back, T-Hawk, Shang Tsung, Little Mac, Vega, the list, Nightwing. The list goes on and on and on. And that's hard to turn my roster. It's like, what would I like to see? What would I like to see? Arthur Morgan. I mean, I can keep going. What would I like to see? What character would I like to see? How could I be creative with these people? And if I use people that I like, that I enjoy, that I have a fandom of, it'll show off in the product as well. So that, hope answers your question, because I think this person asked me, how do you determine the roster? Like, how do you do it? Whatever. I basically choose who I like. If I can make them, and someone download them, if I can't, first of all, if I have a character in mind, and I can't make them, and I can't find them on community creations, I don't make them. I'm sorry. I want to do justice to the character. I'll try my best to make certain people, but for the end of the day, the question he's asking, how do you determine your roster? I pick who I like. Like there are people that have mentioned, I had this person, and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe. But at the end of the day, it's who I like. It's who I want to see and be creative with, because if I'm using characters that I like, it'll be a better product because I have fun using them. If I'm using like, oh, you should use Liu Kang. Why? I don't really like Liu Kang. You should use Ken from Street Fighter, which I did. I'm not a huge fan of Ken or Ryu from Street Fighter. I used them. That's what people wanted. But I like Vega from Street Fighter. I like T-Hawk. Those are the players I play with, and look where they are now. They're still here. Well, T-Hawk's new, but Vega's been there since the beginning. So you use who you like, and that'll come off when you do the shows. Question 2 from the same person, Cody Cantrell 5216. AI versus AI, human versus AI. How do you get the best matches? Now, I'll say this much. It was a lot easier in '06 to do me playing everybody, because I had the controllers and I had the multi-tap. I could kind of sit and maneuver the controls. I mean, let's be fair, some matches you can tell that I was playing everybody, because sometimes people are just standing there like bouncing around. They're not really doing anything. So, human can have issues sometimes. But there's exceptions. There are some matches that were phenomenal when I played played both characters. For example, Destruction Mania 2, most of the matches I played, I was playing both characters. Like, for example, the main event, Lance Burton versus George Costanza for the title. I played both characters. The match was phenomenal. Great match. Vega versus Jack Sparrow from, I think it was Destruction episode 14. Everyone still likes that match. I did that too. So, it depends on the game. Now, the matches that I've done for this reboot, basically the comeback of DWA, it's been AI versus AI, and they've come out great. I wish they would go longer, but they've been great. For PHW, I did me versus AI, and that turned out great because I could book it the way I want. But another thing I heard from a friend of mine, and I kind of see where they're coming from, they said that you can tell who's going to win because I'm playing as the characters. I don't want that to happen, because I like to book a certain way. Yes, I like to book a character winning. However, if you can tell I'm playing as a character, I'm going to win because I'm playing as it. That kind of ruins the illusion, so I understand that. Going forward with DWA, for this new one, we've done AI versus AI, and it's been great so far. I can try doing human versus human again. If it doesn't flow well, we'll go to AI. It is what it is. But we'll see how that goes with the new show. I can try both methods. I can't do triple threat anymore. I can't do 4 people anymore. One-on-one's the only thing I can do on my own. Everything else has to be AI. So we'll have to go with that, because I can't do human versus human with PlayStation controls. I don't have 4 controllers anymore. Or I only have 2. I'm not about to get them, because controls are expensive. Controls like $80 now. So I'm not going to do that. How do you promote your show, how do you promote your show? I'm trying to read this. Hang on. How do you promote your show, or is are you and the other CAW owners planning on creating a main source for us to be connected as CAW fans and creators? How I promote my show? Word of mouth. Back then, obviously, I'm not trying to again toot my own horn, but I have like almost 2,000 subscribers. That's not a lot by today's standards, but back then it was a lot. It's just word of mouth. Like now back then you didn't use like hashtags and stuff like that, and Twitter and Instagram promote your stuff. You just put it on YouTube, and that was the end of it. Which is why, again, the many views it got back then is still wild to me. Promoting show, people just watch. They'll eventually watch. Word of mouth. It's harder now to get attention on a video than it is back then. I'll be honest with you. I've seen it with my videos, on the other channels as well. But I think it's an unwritten rule, not just with CAW, but YouTube. Don't really comment in someone else's video like, hey, go check out my league. That's kind of like a attention grab, and that you don't want that. People eventually find your stuff. If people look up CAW, they'll find it at some point. There's forums, Reddit, stuff like that nowadays. Like, there's probably forums in CAW, Reddits, and stuff like that. People can check out your stuff or whatever. As far as the other question, connected as coffee, I have not thought about that. It's not a bad idea, but I don't know. Other than SCW, I could talk to them. If that's something we like to do. I don't really know. The days of there's Discords. There was like SMF forums that I was on back then. I think that's how I promoted myself. SMF forums, I was on there too. It's definitely different now. Discord's not a bad idea, but it depends. Other owners would like to do that. They just kind of do their own thing. So it's not a bad idea for a creation things for people to be connected, but we live in different times now. So last question from him. How do you know or find out if a character you want has been used before in another league used in another league? You know what? And? Like, I think he asked me again on Instagram about Batman Beyond being in a show. Maybe. I don't know. Use them if you want. Like, look at the characters I've used. I've seen people, to be fair, some of my characters have not been used in other shows, but that's not a good example. But like Jack Sparrow, I put in Jack Sparrow. Jack Sparrow is a no DQ CW icon. I used him. Luigi, didn't use him at all, but he was a no DQ CW icon. Captain Murphy, once ICW left, he let me use him. It doesn't matter if someone used it before. It's how you interpreted that character. You want to use, hey, you know what? For people do CW out there, I don't own these characters. I didn't create these people. As far as like make them who they were. You want to use Lance Burton? Go for it. You want to use Al Capone? Go for it. You want to use Nightwing? Go. I didn't create them. I didn't invent them. Other people did. I don't have the rights to those characters. You have free range to use anybody you want. You have free range to use anybody you want. So if someone's gonna call it before, I could see where the negativity from that could come. Because, say for example, again using my own experience, if someone used say someone want attention and they wanted their CAW league to get traction right away, they have Al Capone, Lance Bird, and Anti-Flash on it. I'm like, well, all right. People in the comment section will be like, hey, these people are from DWA. Again, I don't care. You want to use my characters, that's fine. But you kind of want to steer away from that. You don't want to use somebody that's an end-all, be-all character for the show, right? I used Jack Sparrow for a little bit, but then I let him go. I used Cameron for a little bit, then I let him go. Just want to get a little bit of attention, on the people, and maybe the other leagues as well. But again, you don't want to use someone that is larger than life of your show, because it's going to get attention for the other show, which you don't want. You want attention for your show. So make characters that, again, you think, again, I don't know, and I seriously doubt it. I don't think anybody before I did it used George Costanza. To be fair, I was kind of inspired by SMF, like I always have been, when they used Kramer in their show. I was like, let me make a Seinfeld character myself, and I made George. And George is, George is a legend in DWA. He's a champion. He's been Destruction Mania 2. George is a character that I never thought I would see, and again, circles back to what I said before. Make people who you like. Make people who you want to see. Make it interesting for yourself. And the crowd and the fans will follow, and they'll watch it as well. Okay, well, that's gonna do it for the Q&A. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you all the questions that I answered, they were answered. If you making sure that your question was answered, and you like the answer I gave. Let me shout out people that answered questions. So I thank you very much. Thank you to Freddie Myers 9511, UCW on YouTube, Cody Cantrell 5216, and the Random Goofball. Thank you so much for your questions. Stay tuned. A lot more stuff coming from DWA on this channel going forward. We're still creating behind the scenes, which will maybe do some things. I did say I was going to do some behind the scenes stuff that might come up at some point. I'm still creating. I'm still making people. I'm making sure that show 1 will be uploaded at some point. I will be as transparent as I can with it, but I'm super excited. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any other questions, again, we have a Twitter. We have an Instagram. You can also ask questions on the YouTube page under this video if you have any other questions regarding CW or DWA in general. Yeah, it's crazy that I'm doing something like this. Not CW, but a Q&A and answering these questions. And it's just like, we're live right now. We're quote unquote live. I got a comment today on YouTube from somebody. And it's from, where is it? It's from DWA Destruction 2. It's the second episode I did. Right? I believe the second episode, isn't it? Or what episode was this? Yeah, second edition. Second edition part 2, Cody Cantrell. He said, it's fun watching these back. Al Capone had a relatively humble beginnings at first and went to become one of the most decorated DWA superstars of all time. This video is 18 years old. This video's from 2007. It's almost 20 years old. That's crazy. And then also this person commented on my DWA Legacy video. They said, I remember this league when I first started watching wrestling content on YouTube back in 2008. Shout out to the other OG CW leagues like SCW, UWO, SMF, No DQ CW, and ICTW. I got this comment today. I don't know if I mentioned the name. If I didn't, Crim Taker, thank you for that comment. Today. This is from today. So, something I've done, again, we've taken breaks, obviously, but something I've done for on and off for close to 20 years. I mean, mostly off because I took a long break in between and did other things, but, it's something that was always there. The videos never went away. The videos never went away. It's not like I deleted the channel. Like, that's it. The DWA's gone. Delete the channel. I didn't do that. It was still there. It never left. We left, but it never left you. It sounds like a PSA. It sounds like a after school special. It left, but it never left you. Yeah. I'm just in awe sometimes of the comments that I get for this thing where I basically turn on a monitor, plug in a capture card, and goof around on a game for hours and then just edit it and put it on the internet. That's basically all I do. But for the fans that we've had, still have, and will have, you have the ability to make this hobby feel special. And that is why I continue to do it. Thank you so much for watching. I love each and every one of you. The DWA will not be where it is without every single one of you. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Thanks again. Unbelievable stuff. That's all I can say. I can't end this video. I can't end this video. But yeah. Whew. Crazy thing. This whole CW thing is. It's crazy. But that's it. I'm done rambling. Thanks for watching. Keep it here for more posts about DWA-Universe. Follow us on Twitter. I'm not calling it X. That sounds stupid. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. A lot more things going on. I might upload more matches going forward just to give people something to watch while we wait for the first show to be ready. I'm going to try to upload more Superstar pictures. I want to see how much I want to upload before I just like, hey, green light, let's go. Let's start doing this again. Like I said, I have the show written. I just have to make the people and make their entrances and make the movesets, but we're almost there. We're getting there. But yeah, it's been a heck of a ride, and don't jump off anytime soon. All right. Again, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'm gonna end it. We're gone. Goodbye. Thanks so much for watching. I love you all. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks again.